Y'all need to shut up. I said, y'all need to shut up. I said... Okay. Ooh. Oh, definitely take the wife to lunch while watching the Moogly stream. Compromise. Compromise is a serious thing in it. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's good. Yeah, so we got a new module a couple days ago, and it's about time to put it to some use. But first, you have to actually do that. Unspaghettiify Strass. So quick that we destroy everything. Ah. Start pulling. Take a handful and just yank. Secret. Electronic components like it. And I connect. I will. So, the Kickall. It's basically ostensibly surface level. It's a kick drum generator, but it really is tiny. Like that Behringer oscillator that with this thing. Small. Strange. Oh. So, yeah, then I start to take a look at obvious. Test is if it fits perfectly in there, doesn't quite fit, then we'll pull the Behringer oscillator, which is actually a good place for it. Flats as a snare drum. Well, there's kind of your drum section. Of that. It's way down on. Not the best place as far as cable runs, but you know, case could be possible. First thing, power it off and fire up. See what's. Oh boy. Oh, module's such a little cutie. Such a little. The power consumption kind of depends on supplies that you use. I have 4. But I already have. But you know, it doesn't draw all that all the time. Kind of have to power draw, so it's not that big. Pay for electricity as a separate. This is all the realm of like modulation. CA. So we've got a voice stuck in. It's a problem is stuff left. Which I mean, honestly, that's really my little mutable instruments box here, which has got all of my screws. I like to use it for pushing the screws around in the modules. Yeah, it's hard to see inside of this. I did a live stream when I first got this case, and I was installing mine. That gives you a better impression of like what side looks. Oh, you know what it is? It's because of my. I have to stay fairly close. Okay, deal with long annoying cables. We think so. I think I'm going to put it up at the top. This was kind of my. I realized that the Behringer oscillator sucked ball. Not on a night. Accidentally sat on a. Um. So let's pull this out. Now the nice nice thing that there's already a power cable. I've Oh, there it is. With your that is a bus connector side of there. That's where you plug in all of your mods. You can't no. Sort of see it in here without the flashlight. Can't kind of see another. So there are 4 bus boards here, and 2 kind of along. So yeah, placement. Which bus strip you're plugging, that kind of stuff. That's a pretty important thing. Um, but you know, if you manage it all along, generally, I do want to check it's disconnect. Okay, this way. Well, because the assume that they fortunately, case like this don't have any space on the sides of it. We'll have to had to actually, even on this one, if I had to put that power cord, I had to actually install the power cord itself. A sport probably have to pull the CSL here. So I'm, giant ham hands, not be able to space. See if we gently. Oh yes. Oh, there. Sweet. Sweet. I like it when things work out. Makes me happy. Um, okay. So, instruction box here. Module. Add backstock. Actually make a really crappy portable system. Uh, oh yes. And this guy, this is little. Oh, I'm not dropping frames, but here, you know what? I'm gonna turn down the sensitivity. Skate. Okay. Yeah, it's probably that. And like I had it set up so that literally I would have to be talking like this in order to make a sound come through it. And if even if I was backed up like to here, it would cut out. Mostly because I would, occasionally vape or something and somebody would get offended and so on and so forth. So all right. So there's the Kickall. It's there. It exists. Let's patch it up. Step one, clock. Let's put the clock into the dot sequencer here. Is it running? Now it's running. Okay. And so we can take trigger number 1 and oh, of course. See, this is what I was talking about with the long cables. That's all right. We'll live. We'll at least need one long cable for the trigger. Everything else should be normal length, theoretically. getting a trigger signal. Okay, and here we go. Let's reset the mixer so that everything's set and zeroed. And there we do. We have it. We have a little tiny bit of kick drum coming in while I continue to zero out my mixer. Yeah, it's all about the noise gate. I figured. So, anyways, there it is. So we've got tuning, got decay time on a slider, which is cool. And also one thing that's cool is it does have a manual button to actually trigger it, which is pretty sweet. Change the shape to more of a square wave. Okay, cool. Now, what's interesting is you can actually run like a sequencer through this and not just have it playing a single, thing. All right, I'm going to set up channel 2 for a snare drum. And then we'll because you know what, the Platts is already set to it, so like let's just throw it in, stick an output in, and go with it. And that gives us a little bit of depth. There we go. So how can we change this kick drum sound? Well, pretty much any way we want, I guess. Let's see. So if we took, let's say we took just a good old happy LFO. So now we've got it kind of cycling the shape up and down. We can do the same thing with the decay. Kind of give you a little bit more texture. I know I had hi-hats somehow. I think I had hi-hats triggered. I had a noise source coming into what? I had an envelope and stuff for this. It was a very long, drawn out. All right, man. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for coming by. It's a very long and drawn out kind of a thing here. So what I need to do is find an ultra basic shape. And then that envelope can hit a VCA. Put to VCA. And run quick hi-hat signal noise generator once I actually set to noise. There it is. This is not. That's what we're. So there's that guy, and hi-hat's going to go out to there. Okay, so there's our kind of crappy hi-hats. Let's try something else for that. Let's run that through the LPG here. So I'm going to take my input, output, and then the cable that's too short. Curse you, short cable! Envelope into trigger. Oh, okay. So that's the lower limit. That's okay. That works for now. It's just a placekeeper. Now, if we really wanted to automate this, we could take tempo out, bring it into the tempi here, and then let's see here. Set it to just a one-on-one click there. So now the tempi should be matching tempo, and now we can actually clock the LFO like directly. So if we put that puppy in here, there we go. No, it's not quite there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey. It's kind of working. It's sort of working. So now we have kind of a clocked LFO going into our drums and stuff here. How is this looking? This is looking a little bit low on. There we go. That's a little better. It's a little fatter, a little thicker, louder. All right, so what can we do with this kick drum here? Like that pattern, actually. That's really cool. Very, very funky. Unintentionally funky. I like it. kind of really cool. Let's run another clock from the data. Throw it into the metropolis. Hell yeah. Okay, so now I'm kind of curious. What if, instead of that trigger, if we just used a regular old sequencer voice to drive that? Can it be done? I think it can be done. So if we take pitch and we go into tuning, we take the gate and we bring it into the trigger, what we have. It's accurate. It's tracking correctly. And this is one of the things that I liked about this module in general. It's like, yes, the oscillator is fairly simple. It has sine to square and then shape, you know, a range of shape in between. But it tracks 1 volt per octave and has a built-in now we can also put that LFO into the shape. Which is really, really nice. That's pretty cool. Okay, so that can be done. That's good. Good to know. It's a possible standalone synth voice. We need it if we ever need to use it. So, like, to replace the oscillator with that thing is a win-win. Let's get that trigger back in. Let's do something weird with this, huh? Thing that I have a slight question with. I don't know whether this actually came with a manual. Oftentimes they don't. And for a module like this that's very kind of like narrow focus and, you know, only has like one real use. Oh, look. They sent me 2 Nerlies along with it. That's very sweet of them. Thank you. Actually, you know, like, you don't have to buy another pack of them. Yeah, so there's nothing really there. Now, I think there's another input up here. And I'm pretty sure that's the accent input. So how do we clock that? I guess we can use the tempi as well. So if we were like here, and then we were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there, we've got a little clock. We can clock maybe the Zadar. We can throw an envelope to kind of hit that. So if we use that as a trigger, go to B here. Just see what that does. Let's see what that does. So it looks like it's just a level control, which is okay. Oh, well, that's interesting. It looks like it's kind of like normalized so that once you've got something in there. Okay. So this needs to be attenuated. Simple as that. So if we run the same thing through an attenuator. Is that going to do? It's not. It's still doing the thing. Okay. So is that just an accent? Seems like maybe that's the case. It's just an accent trigger, and if that's the case, then we don't need a whole huge LFO. What we need is an occasional pulse, just a little blip going along, and maybe just the actual tempi itself is good for that. Oh, so it's like on or off. Okay. So now I'm curious. If we take a CV out right here, and we keep the sequencer on channel 1. And as we dial up the CV, it basically just increases the level. So what you can do, you could make a sequence that just like changes the level of the kick drum based on the step that it's playing, which is kind of cool. So you could take like, well, you know, the logical would be like step 1, accent step 1. Now if that's the case, let's take another clock, run it to this little Behringer sequencer here. Stop it. Set. I think I can hear the difference. it's not synchronized. That's kind of the problem here. There it is. Because, yeah, if a sequencer just puts out voltages, then you can use those voltages for whatever you want. It doesn't have to be for notes. I'm actually unhappy with the sound of my pseudo hi-hats. I really need to get like maybe like a Pico drum or something like that, and use it for, you know, hi-hats and stuff. Unfortunately, it's still making the kick drum pretty darn quiet, which, you know, don't want. Don't like. Don't want it. So, yeah, in my rack, in this case, I think it's probably going to be pretty much this usage. That's about it. But let's mess with the sound. Let's do some stuff. Let's run it through a wave folder. Let's run it through the world's most insane extreme wave folder, to be precise. Okay, ready to have your ears blasted out? Let's turn it down first, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Is nice though. For a distortion module, that'd be a nice addition to this rack. Okay, wait, now I'm curious. Does the black hole DSP have a distortion? I don't think it does, but it's always best to check. What is this? Drone bank? Drone bank? How come I've never noticed that before? Maybe it's because I don't read manuals that clearly. Yeah. Anyways. Well, and I see my bandwidth is starting to die on me, which is Awesome. And that's okay, because this was going to be a fairly short stream anyways. That's alright. It's not a big deal. For me, at least. But yeah, this is a cool little module. And it's so small. It's 4 HP. And it's about 200 bucks. Might seem a lot. But damn, it sounds good. Oh, you know what else has really good distortion, actually? Is the Morpheus Filter. So let's do that. Real quick, one last thing. As long as the bandwidth lets me. Okay, let's find something with distortion. There's one. Okay, it's interesting. It's not a lot of distortion. I've heard some of these that are just ridiculous, and now I just need to find them. There's one. This is a bass boost filter. Yes, it is. Oh yeah, it's like bass distortion. That's cool. That's kind of crazy. That's supposed to be a loudness booster, and it just like, I don't know what it just did. It's got a lot of weird stuff in here. the filters in this thing are really more like intensive EQ curves. But I did notice that it had one for hi-hats, which is kind of cool. And now I'm sort of tempted to find that again, which is maybe not a bad idea as a general. I'd like to just plug in a hi-hat and be done. That's the wrong one. That's a snare drum. Why is my snare drum going into it? I don't really know. I'm not really sure. We've subbed out the wrong cable. It's terrible. Okay. Let's find that. Hi-hat, 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 hi-hat. Bandwidth is looking sort of stable right now. It's a miracle. Cymbal. Oh, we're close. We're close. Band-aid. Hi-hat. Okay, well that's kind of terrible. I would say the best thing to do would just put it through a high-pass filter. Because that's the problem I have, is like all of this like low stuff that gets popped in there, like that. Yeah, so that's nice. And stop. All right, so cool. All right, we got it installed. Everything's working. Everything's good to go. Good to see. And this is about all I can do before my bandwidth starts taking a crap on my head. So I'm going to leave it there, and thank you all for joining me. And yeah, if you liked it, hey, go buy yourself a Befaco Kickall, because it's a pretty nice little module. It's very little. It's, I don't know, what is that? Is that 6 HP, I think? Something like that? I think it's 6. I thought it was 4, but I think it's 6, because the other oscillators, the even, the rings, the nano rings, I think those are 8. So it's a tiny little guy, and it, yeah, it has a nice little place. Very near to the Befaco even VCO, which which is home built. So, anyways, hey, once again though, thanks for joining me. Like what you see, hit that sub. See you soon.